Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Good American Family Episode 7 Recap. They say the title in this one too. Good American Family is, on the face of it, a tale of two halves, told from two contrary perspectives. On the one hand, you have Christine and Michael Barnett, who may or may not, depending on who you ask, have had an 8-year-old legally declared an adult so that they could justify abandoning her. And on the other hand, you have Natalia Grace, who was either committing a very sophisticated scam to defraud her benefactors or, more likely, was a disabled child who was horrifically neglected. But on a surprising third hand, Episode 7 reveals a new perspective, that of Detective Brandon Drysdale. Brandon has been in the show since the beginning, mostly in the present-day sequences that often bookend the episodes. We've seen him interview Natalia and Michael. We've seen him float around on the periphery. But if you tell a story well enough, a fitting title, given the circumstances, shows another side to him as he becomes personally invested in the having Natalia re-aged so that she can be legally adopted by the man's family. After worrying about how the perspective switches would go, I've been increasingly impressed by how much Good American Family has been able to add to the story by texturing it in this way. Those first 4 episodes from the Barnett perspective functioned as a thriller, essentially, leaving little ambiguity around Natalia's guilt. But the next 2 episodes, from Natalia's perspective, came with the creeping realization that all wasn't what it seemed. Episode 7 doesn't just offer Brandon's viewpoint, but also recasts the events, and particularly the Barnetts, in a different, more ridiculous mold. From their own point of view, the Barnetts were the flawless family of the title, driven to despair by circumstances outside their control. To Natalia, they were monsters, the boogeymen of children's bedtime stories. But to Brandon, Christine, and Michael are both ridiculous, their scheme so harebrained that it can scarcely survive even cursory examination. There's still a really unpleasant tinge to it all, of course. The episode opens with a flashback to Natalia's time in the psychiatric hospital where she was committed by the Barnetts, so she couldn't be involved in ruin their efforts to have her age legally changed. There was always a lingering question about how they managed to pull that off given how easily Cynthia disproved it, and the answer is revealed in If You Tell a Story Well Enough. They used their trusted family doctor to sign off on it, despite the testimonies of multiple medical professionals confirming that Natalia was indeed a child. And then they buried the evidence. To Brandon, this is the trump card. Natalia's rights were violated during this process, during which she was never appointed legal representation or given a chance to defend herself. Even if the re-aging itself can't be challenged, the circumstances in which it occurred can be. But this doesn't go particularly well, the blatant miscarriage of justice revealing another problem. And it's a problem of perception. The Barnetts are the quintessential good American family. It's how their doctor describes them. They're white and well-to-do and seemingly well-adjusted. Christine is a minor celebrity thanks to her autism campaigning. They keep their real problems, their sexless marriage, what happened with Natalia, behind closed doors. It doesn't take Brandon long to begin to leverage this perception for his own ends, and it's remarkably easy to do. In the present day, Christine and Michael have separated. An event precipitated by an almost slapstick moment in a lawyer's office where an apparently technophobic Christine sent Michael photos of important legal documents accidentally bundled with saucy snapshots meant for another man. The resentment between them has only grown since then, resulting in Christine denying Michael access to his sons. It only takes a bit of prodding for Brandon to trick Michael into revealing that A. Christine beat Natalia savagely, and B. They both knew Natalia was a child when they had her re-aged and rehomed. It's difficult to articulate how stupid Michael looks in Good American Family Episode 7. This is a guy who finally plucked up the courage to walk away from his gaslighting wife, only to implicate himself in his efforts to spite her. It isn't until Jen points out that he'll also be on the hook for Natalia's abandonment that he realizes the mistake he has made. Unfortunately, the real-life case tells us that his foolishness will not result in him or Christine being held to account for what they did. But it's still satisfying to watch him make an idiot of himself. Episode 7 of Good American Family, titled Household Name, is everything you'd hope for at this stage in the season. Messy, emotional, unexpectedly hilarious, and yes, they say the title again, and it slapped harder than a Sunday sermon at Aunt Janice's. Let's set the scene. The Jameson family household is still reeling from the chaos of last week's cookout gone wrong, where Uncle Lenny accidentally deep-fried the neighbor's drone and Alicia found out her boyfriend's real name is Carlton. Now, the mood is sticky like peach cobbler left out in the sun. Everyone's either whispering, glaring, or both. This week opens with a slow pan across the suburban street as a marching band inexplicably parades by. No context, no dialogue. Just a tuba solo and a cheerleader in tears. It's art. Then boom, we're inside the house. Cheryl, the mom, the matriarch, the glue, the unrelenting force of nature, is holding court in the kitchen. She's wielding a whisk like a scepter and giving a rousing monologue about breakfast being a sacred ritual, not a suggestion. And that's when it hits you. This isn't just about eggs. This is about identity, about control, about what it means to be a good American family in the 21st century. And the episode doesn't let up from there. The emotional core of this week, Deshawn, the middle child, our lovable chaos agent, is secretly trying out for an experimental theater group. He's been sneaking out late, rehearsing in the garage with a sock puppet and a Bluetooth speaker. His monologue? About the myth of perfection in nuclear families. It's raw, it's strange, it's very good American family. Meanwhile, Grandpa Earl is having a spiritual crisis. He's convinced that the family's smart fridge is possessed. He spends most of the episode whispering scripture to it, which wouldn't be so bizarre if the fridge didn't seem to be whispering back. At one point, it recommends a kale smoothie. Earl takes this as a sign of the end times. Alicia is dealing with her own drama. After last week's Carlton revealed him, she's spiraling. She questions everything: love, trust, even astrology. If Mercury's in retrograde, then why did my man lie about his name? Is maybe the best line of the episode. Her journey takes her to Miss Dolores, the local mystic / retired librarian / possibly immortal being, who offers sage advice in the form of haikus and jelly beans. Back on the main plot highway, the Jamesons are being considered for a feature in a local magazine titled, you guessed it, Good American Family. And that's where it all ties together. The pressure mounts. Cheryl wants them to present a flawless image. Deshawn wants to stage a silent protest in mime. Alicia wants to disappear entirely. Grandpa Earl just wants his fridge to stop judging him. The magazine sends a photographer, a too-perfect hipster named Jax with a vintage camera and unsettlingly white teeth. He insists on natural lighting and authentic moments. Naturally, this leads to chaos. The family's attempt to appear natural becomes a performance of epic proportions. It's like a reality show wrapped in a satire, wrapped in an existential crisis. You love to see it. And then, the scene. The scene. They're all in the living room. Jax is snapping candid shots. The dog is wearing a sweater that says patriarchy is passé. Earl is mid-rant about kale-based communism. Alicia is weeping into a pillow embroidered with live laugh love. And Cheryl, our queen, stands up, clinks her glass, a mimosa, bless her, and says, you know what? We are a good American family. Not because we smile for cameras or get featured in magazines. We're a mess. A loud, loving, wildly unhinged mess. But we show up. For breakfast, for birthdays, for fridge exorcisms. That's what makes us good. That's what makes us family. Cue soft piano. Jax cries a single tear. The smart fridge flickers ominously, fade to black.